Good evening and welcome back, MLE. We're hopping into the Champions League tonight. In this match, we're brought to you tonight by APM Music. I'm joined on the desk tonight by Pandy. Pandy, how are you doing?
Happy to be here, Flumsky, accompanied by your ladder as well. That presence is
Always.
always making me happy. But we got a
Always.
CL2 or CL3v3 matchup tonight between the Outlaws and the Bears. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, both these teams kind of bringing up the tail end of their division here. The Outlaws looking like they're 2-3 to start the season off, and the Bears 1-4. So both teams looking to have a big rebound week here, and one of them is going to.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. Both these teams, like you said, are kind of off to the wrong foot, but there's still plenty of time to turn it around, and these guys definitely are having that goal in mind, especially this week. On the mainstream, they're going to be looking to hit some crazy shots for us to react to, and I can't wait for this one to begin.
Yeah, and good for them. Good thing for both these teams is that it looks like the Pirates and the Rhinos, the other two teams in this division, kind of traded games here. So both of them are only at 6-4. So both these teams can really make a move and catch up here tonight.
Yeah, and it's only week 2, so there's plenty of room to work with.
Absolutely.
Definitely, like you said, they just starting out 2-3 and 1-4 respectively between the Bears and Outlaws, but it's week 2. We got plenty of time to work with. It's a 10-week season, so it's may not have the best of starts, but that's kind of how some teams start in the league. They may not start out with the best of record, but they turn it around and win the entire league. So it's plenty of time for things to turn around for these guys. And tonight, why not start it now?
Yeah, and then something that we can look at too tonight is that both these teams coming back with 2 out of the 3 players from both lineups. So Sky Guy and Purple Hippo making a return here, and Live for Tomorrow and Delhi making their return this week.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. A lot of teams kind of in these first few weeks like to throw around different kinds of rosters, so you may not see players playing together a lot, and that kind of that's kind of evidence of a weaker schedule to start the season because you don't have a lot of team chemistry, you don't have a lot of consistency built up. But seeing both teams throwing out 2 of the same players, it's kind of a thing to be expected. Is this one could be a great series because there's some team chemistry that's already being built up here, and it's super early in the season.
Yeah, and then something I was looking at a little bit earlier was Sky Guy and Zona here coming back this season together. They both made a pretty deep playoff run last season. And then Delhi, and I believe Live for Tomorrow was on the team last season with them. But again, like I said, we got 4 out of the 6 players returning this week into the lineup. The players are getting down onto the field, Pandy. I'm going to ask you, like I ask most of my co-casters, who do you think is going to win this one going into this?
I think the Outlaws definitely have a good chance of taking it here. But like you said, I don't really know much about Champions Leagues, and this is 3s. It can go any way. But honestly, I'm going to take Bears in 3-2 here.
Bears in 3-2 here. I like to hear it as we get the Bears on the offense here. Purple Hippo trying to get the ball into the corner, but both of his teammates retreat. Zona sends a missile off the back wall. Flash going to receive on a 50-50. Liv's going to be able to take the ball down the field here, but Sky Guy in that long dominance hitbox able to get the ball back into their zone. Just cleared out again by the Outlaws.
The Bears already starting out with a lot of pressure on the Outlaws backboard there. Zona looking for one. Midfield pass to Purple Hippo. There's an absolute slot. Top right, and the Bears will start it out.
Yeah, that's a massive shot here. Zona with the follow-up on that carry. Gets the ball to bounce off that corner and get it up in the air. And an absolute placement Pierre there out of flips. I mean, I don't know if you can put that any more top corner.
That thing was an absolute beauty. The Bears already showing so much speed, so much pressure from their own half, and the Outlaws really struggling to gain their footing here. But it's only 40 seconds in. There's so much time to work with in this game. Still 4 minutes, 16 seconds to go, but it seems like the Outlaws are starting to get something going on the offensive end.
Yeah, Flash there with a pretty good air carry, and Delhi's going to receive the pass off the wall and take a pretty dangerous shot on net, but can't quite get it as we get a double tap in the corner, and Zona's there to take it up and go. As we're going to get a 50-50 in midfield. The Bears trying to get something going here. They're going to have another good opportunity to keep the ball in the Outlaws half for a good bit, as it just gets 50 to the sidewall, and Flash throws the ball away. It's in front of the net, and Flip's able to clear it to his own corner.
You got to be careful there if you're Flash kind of throwing away rotation, throwing away possession, that is, because you know the Bears are going to be hot on that ball and they're going to punish you. We've seen multiple laser caliber clears. That's another one from Zona, and they're going to punish your mistakes if you make them. But that's safe from Flash. Just keeping it out of their net is keeping the Outlaws alive right now.
Yeah, and I like that little misdirect fake there out of Flips. He's making it look almost 100% like he's going to hit the ball there. Skirts out of the way at the last second, and Purple kind of brings it up. Is a great passing play flips to Zona. They reverse goal one here and get it the other way with the pass and the goal.
You can see the team communication from the Bears right now. You see Flips seeing Zona that was midfield just completely waiting for that pass, and Zona was like, hey, hit me off the wall, and Flips is like, I got you, man. I'm going to send this thing as hard as I can off the wall. Zona, perfect read and perfect placement.
Yeah, you absolutely nailed it. The Bears showing a lot of team chemistry here, a lot of passing plays coming out here early. As we get another one off the back wall, and it's going to be to Purple Hippo from Flips this time. A great little soft touch off the back wall here, just enough to get it out in front of the middle of the net, and enough for Purple Hippo to just kind of take an open net here and hit it right in the center.
Yeah, that's a fantastic job by Flips, kind of making that ball as awkward as possible for the defenders from the Outlaws in front of their own net. That touch was almost unsavable, as you saw as well, to credit Flips as well. Jumped off that backboard to prevent any rotation back off the backboard to make a save. So great job by Flips. Heads up play there, and the Bears taking a 3-goal lead. This is a huge advantage for them.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier when they scored their first goal. There's still plenty of time left in this game. We're not even halfway through. So if one team can score 3.5, then, you know what I mean, there's no doubt that the other team can too. But the Bears kind of suffocating here on the offensive half. They're doing what's super important, which is not play to lose or play to win. They're keeping the pressure up. They're making sure they're staying aggressive here, and it shows. It's Purple Hippo with a massive 50-50, and these guys just trust each other to dive on these balls that are centered.
I think aggressive is a perfect word to use here. You saw Flips and Purple Hippo just completely burying every 50 that they were challenging. Both of those 50s were going either off the wall or straight into the goal. And this Bears team is out like a cannon straight from this kickoff, scoring 4 goals, and we're barely halfway through game 1.
Yeah, they already registered 7 shots to only 4 for the Outlaws, which isn't a huge difference here. But
no,
when you think about the shooting percentage here, you know, I mean, it's 4 for 7 out of the Bears, and I'm pretty sure every one of them has been a threatening shot coming out of them.
Yeah, because you got 4 goals. That was 4 goals and 8 shots now, as forces 4 saves out of Flash. Flash for the Outlaws, that is. So all 8 shots are threatening, and that's very important, especially in 3v3. You can just pile on as many shots as you can, and if they're on net, yeah, they can be threatening, but shots that are going to be in the net are going to force really uncomfortable saves, and that's what they're doing just exactly. Live for Tomorrow gets a solid clear, and the Outlaws are finally looking for something to be turning around here on the offensive end. There's some pressure, but Flips forced to make an uncomfortable save. Deli misses past that one. Here's Flash, kind of looking for Deli midfield, but good back rotation to give the Outlaws a chance on defense.
Yeah, another great save out of the Outlaws. They're a little bit of a triple commit, but not too threatening, as another shot that goes off the crossbar and out. The 4th defender there for the Outlaws to bail him out of one. And something I've been noticing here, Pandy, is when Flash gets the opportunity, he's trying to change the pace of the game, trying to maybe get something else going here. He's really starting to get aggressive on the demo as he gets demoed off the field. Maybe the Bears were tired of what he was doing and started giving a little taste of his own medicine.
I think he's really starting to dig into the Bears rotation now. You see their offensive presence is really starting to slow down. You see the Outlaws now just starting to pepper some shots off the backboard. That clearly is going to make it a little bit tough to continue that pressure. But like you said, Flash is looking to get in there, looking to disrupt the rotations of the Bears, and I think he's doing just that. He's really starting to diffuse some pressure on his back end and open up some chances on the offensive side.
Yeah, if you can do anything, like, you know what I mean, at this point in the game too, it's almost pretty much over here with 30 seconds, up 4 for the Bears. So if you can start trying to work on something at the end of this game, or maybe start chatting it up and trying to figure out what you guys can do next game. Flash is like, let me see if I can get some demos going here, see if that throws their rotations off a little bit as Deli gets one of their own. And another great pass off the backboard after the demo from Deli. And the Outlaws showing a good sign of life here at the end of the game as Flash off the ceiling tries to get something going. So again, at the end of this game here, Pandy, it looks like the Outlaws really started to get something going.
Yeah, and they're starting to build some chemistry here. It took them a while to get their footing. Unfortunately, that was followed by 4 goals from the Bears. Great job by them. But the Outlaws, like you said, they're definitely showing some signs of life to take into the next game. Flash with 6 saved to their name. That's just an unbelievable showing of defense there from Flash, giving the Outlaws the best chance possible despite the scoreline. But like you said, they're showing a lot of promise here at the last half of the game, really starting to slow down the Bears offense. And I think we're going to see a change here next game.
Yeah, I really think the Outlaws, like I said, started trying really get something going there, moving there. I mean, that's 9 shots out of the Bears. No, 12 shots, 9 total just from Purple Hippo and Zona. And 6 saves, like you said, for Flash. The 7th coming from Live for Tomorrow. So, I mean, it's almost like every shot that the Bears took was on net. It was threatening. It made them do something awkward, like you said earlier in the match. So, I mean, if the Bears can just get back in that rotation and maybe keep moving to avoid some of these demos, they can really keep that pressure up and keep getting those shots on net, which is just going to, allow someone on the second to follow in, just kind of take a pot shot at net. And if they're awkward, it's going to be easier to get that ball in the net.
And that's something that we saw in the last, I'd say, minute and a half at least of this of game one, is we saw Flash really getting in there, disrupting that defense. We saw Deli chipping in a couple demos at the end as well, and that's one thing we've kind of been talking about in the last few minutes, is that the Bears offense came to a screeching halt. We saw them score 4 goals really quickly, and the Outlaws were like, hey, let's change something. Flash made a couple really beautiful saves to give themselves the best chance there, and we saw a big time change of pace. Unfortunately, the Outlaws couldn't find the net in the first game, but like I said, I think we're going to see a bit of a change here in game 2. Flash once again showing the mechanics there to make that save.
Yeah, that's 7 on the match for him. Is Flips, another great connection here. Zona out of the corner. Flips just hawking that middle of the field. They're just always there. The great field vision here to get that ball past 2. 2 defenders dive at this, and he just slots it in the top. So, again, that connection going to be deadly for the Bears.
Yeah, and that's one thing you got to give credit to as well. Purple Hippo was all the way back. You saw it's too easy to overlook a great rotation there. Zona off the backboard, that chance off the kickoff just goes off the post. But kind of backing up to what I was saying, you got to credit Purple Hippo there, letting his teammates play up. It's so easy just to dive on a ball that you see, hey, it's a jump ball, let's try and score a goal. But Purple Hippo giving his teammates plenty of space to make that play, and great, like you said, fantastic field vision from Flips and Zona there to get that first goal. But kind of back to work here for the Bears. A lot of pressure in the Outlaws half so far. It seems like Flemsky, that they seem to be a second half team, because the Bears definitely are starting to put it down on the Outlaws half again.
Yeah, I think it was 3 goals we talked about in the first half of that first game, and then only 1 in the second half. So if they can find a way to bring that pressure from both halves, or get it into both halves of the game, as I've seen Flash going for a lot more bumps and getting in the way of the Bears rotation earlier in this game. So again, I think you hit the nail on the head there, saying they need to get aggressive. They need to get aggressive early. As Purple Hippo, a great shot here from midfield, a pass to Flips, who passes it off the back wall. So a little tic-tac-toe pass here from Flips to Hippo.
It seems like the Bears have been playing together for a while. I know you said there was some team chemistry that had been developed from last season's playoff runs that each team respectively made, but it seems like the Bears have been playing together for a while, scrimming between playing together, being friends for a long time. It seems like these guys have built up the team chemistry that they need to compete, and they have brought it out tonight. They're laying it out all out on the table and just getting it done on the offensive end. Now Zona, here's a chance, another shot. Live for Tomorrow is going to give themselves once again another great chance of life here. But the Bears, like you said, like we've been saying this entire time, are just putting it to the Outlaws with these team plays, and team chemistry is one thing that's going to be really hard to disrupt throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, and I think, like you talked about the chemistry here, it's big props to the FM of the Bears, Zach, who's a big community guy. They're always retaining players. They always seem to have 2-3 retentions in every league.
Yeah.
But these players stick around. They want to be there. They want to hang out. They want to keep playing with the same guys. Usually the only time people probably leave the Bears is if they rank out and they just can't be afforded on the upper team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely the case here. There's another infield pass. The sights from Purple Hippo and Flips, just getting these passes midfield, trying to feed their teammates as much as possible is one thing that the Outlaws are really struggling to control right now. But you see them getting physical now, trying to disrupt those rotations that have been so solid throughout this entire night so far. Flash once again chipping it, another one trying to diffuse pressure in the defensive end. But it seems like just the touches, they just can't get a connection to each other, the Outlaws, and it just seems like the Bears, once there's a clear that's being made, the Bears are just pressing it further and further back into the Outlaws half.
Yeah, I think something I'm starting to notice in this game too is the Outlaws want to keep this ball grounded. They don't want to challenge in the air, and I think the Bears have realized that. They're super speedy in the air here tonight. They're getting to these 50-50s, these high balls way quicker as Purple Hippo gets another one above his own net there and gets 2 little 50-50s there at the end. And another great stop out of the Bears here. Zona's going to clear this downfield, but intercepted by Live for Tomorrow. Gonna get a pass to center, but it's stuffed again by Purple Hippo as the Bears putting up the stone wall here on defense.
Deli, here's a chance off the low side, but Zona stays low, stays grounded, and makes a big save. Once again, another chance. Zona, the mechanics coming out from these Bears on both sides of the pitch is just something to be, is something to admire. These guys are showing some serious strength here. But, I mean, the Outlaws definitely are not even out of it whatsoever. It's still a 2-goal game. One, if that shot goes through, but Deli just going to miss that one off the mark just a little bit. And another chance, live for tomorrow off the backboard, looking to punish the Bears for some loose rotations here. But Purple Hippo looking to make me eat my words now. That 50 is going to be favorable for the Bears on the offensive end, but live for tomorrow makes a good clear.
And something to notice here pretty late in the game is that shots and saves, the Bears and Outlaws are dead even tied it right now in this game. The only real difference is the scoreline here of 2-0, 2 assists and 2 goals for the Bears players.
Yeah, and that's something that we've been kind of saying as well. These teams are pretty even, except for the fact that the play styles are a bit different. It seems like the Bears play a lot faster, going to punish a lot more, and be a more kind of in your face, whereas the Outlaws are looking to stay kind of subtle, look for team passes and disrupt and get physical, and just kind of make the Bears as frustrated as possible. And it seems like the Bears are looking to stay as strong as they can mentally, and the mental strength in the Bears so far is something to admire as well. That chance, unfortunate save from Deli, as I think that might have been a goal for Flash, but still 16 seconds to go. It seems like Bears are going to take game 2.
Yeah, it's at this point the Outlaws really just trying to get maybe a little momentum shifting goals here, try to catch one here at the end of the game. Nice little flick there by Flash to get that play started, and Deli's going to clear it to the corner. Flash with another one, ball's high in front of the net. Deli dives. It's going to be a shot on, and almost the connection there from Live for Tomorrow to Flash. It was so close to being a goal there for the Outlaws to end this game, but I mean, a lot of promising plays there for the Outlaws. Is the word in the chat is the Outlaws are going to make a sub here.
I think that's the right move. We haven't seen the Outlaws score a goal in 10 minutes of Rocket League. The Bears putting up a 6-0 scoring drought, or a scoring, I guess, run against the Outlaws. The Outlaws, like I said, haven't scored in 10 minutes. That is something that is either your opponent is really good or something is not working. And I think in this case, it's both. So I think a substitute option may be the best way to go here. But we'll see how the Outlaws can go back to the locker room this next 45 seconds and see what they can change here.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the Outlaws can get something going. And to give them their credit, the Outlaws actually led that game in shots. So they were putting the pressure on the Bears net. Just the Bears came through with the stonewall defense. They were just parked in the net. They put the bus down. They were able to make sure any shot that the Outlaws threw at their net made it back out. It was a lot of booming clears, I think, Pandy, from the Outlaws. And again, that Bears team super speedy there. They weren't really giving up any 50-50. Usually if it got in the air, it went back into the Outlaws half. So it looks like we got Deli for Orion coming in match or in game 3 here.
Yeah, and I'd like to kind of back up to something you said there as well, is that they're looking for booming clears. It's hard to keep a possession that way, specifically in 3v3. If you're looking for a booming clear for your team to rotate around, get boost, yeah, that's a really good thing to do. But when you are in a prime position to get a counterattack going, it's hard to hold a possession. But as I'm saying that, the Outlaws are going to start this game out with a goal off the kickoff. Live for tomorrow. Fantastic one to get the Outlaws started.
Absolutely. It's the momentum you need, and it seemed like a little bit of a breakdown on the defensive rotations from the Bears, and Liv either noticed that or just decided to throw the threatening ball on net, which somebody's going to have to turn for, and maybe they don't get the boost they wanted. Maybe it's a little bit awkward for them and they don't get the greatest clear, and you just want to put the pressure on as Zona meets him in the air. And again, that speed, the aerials coming out of the Bears is just going to be on another level here. And Zona's just going to tie this game right back up 15 seconds in. We're back to even.
What a response from the Bears. They're like, hey, we haven't given up a goal this entire series. That one's kind of a tough one to get to start this game with. Hey, let's just get a quick kickoff goal. Only 6 seconds later, they respond with a goal. Zona looking to make it 2. The flip reset chance, but Flash stays patient on the backboard and gets it done on defense. Here's O'Brien after the 50. Is going to be a fake, we'll call that one. But you see Flash, they're getting demo heavy there, Flemskis. The Outlaws are really starting to get through to the Bears.
Yeah, bumping people off the back line. It's going to be downfield to Flips, but he can't quite make the connection as he tries to clear the net out there. Makes 2 players move, but there was no follow-up shot to get it on net. So we're going back to the Bears half, and there's that booming clear we've seen the Outlaws like, but Flash able to receive it this time. Get something up in front of the net. There's a Fields backflip man in the middle, and the Outlaws going to be on the retreat again. No threatening Bears yet. Live for Tomorrow gets the boost, a massive 50-50 in front of the Outlaws net, but another clear to the sidewall. Again, the Bears just meeting all of these clears head on and keeping this ball as it's going to be on net here. And another booming clear out of Flash to get another goal for the Outlaws, and they get that lead back.
That's a fantastic vision there from Flash. I don't know if that goal was completely calculated. I know they were wanting a clear there, but the pinch, I think, was the reason why that ball made its way straight to the net. But the Outlaws will take it. There's a lead for them. Their second lead of the game off the kickoff. Live for Tomorrow is going to try and make it 3, but Flip's able to stretch out and make a save. But the Outlaws, once again, are threatening as much as they can despite the pressure from the Bears.
Yeah, and again, I think something I'm starting to notice in this game is 2 of these goals for the Outlaws have come off of 50-50s or long ball clears. So they're really starting to gain a little bit of confidence in the air here, getting up to these balls, getting the 50-50s in the air, and making sure the Bears can't beat them on that, as Zona's going to have another opportunity to shoot on net. And the Outlaws opting to take this to the wall. Again, met by a rotating Bear, and it's going to be downfield. Orion can't quite make the turn. He's out of boost. Going to gobble a corner up, and it's going to be going back to the Outlaws half.
I'd like to point out that the Bears are rotating pretty high right now. There's a chance. The Bears rotating pretty high. Leave that back end of the net open. Live for Tomorrow is there to punish them. Great pass by Flash.
Yeah, and the Outlaws making me eat my words there as I called Purple Hippo getting the ball out, and Flash said, I'm going to climb up this wall and stuff that one right back in your face. Good for them. I love to see the Outlaws showing some life here in Game 3.
See Flips there off the kickoff, looking to just kind of stop the bleeding here. The Outlaws with 3 goals that the Bears did not foresee to be giving up here, especially after the first 2 games, the scoreline there. But you see the Outlaws now diving into some balls, getting pretty aggressive and disrupting this Bears defense with some demos.
Yeah, that was a very risky dive out of the Outlaws' third man, but it could be them showing a lot of confidence now in these players on the field, not to discredit Deli at all. It might not have been their day. You never know what's going on in someone's life, as almost an unbelievable shot off the ceiling from Orion. But again, we're talking about the Outlaws here. 7 shots to 3 right now the Outlaws are leading. So they led the last game in shots, but did not come out on top of the scoreline here. But now they are just suffocating the Bears in this Game 3.
Oh, another huge dunk. Live for Tomorrow is going to open up a chance, but Orion just couldn't find it on the far post. And now they're going to want that one back. But the Outlaws, like you said, are threatening the Bears so much on their half. But despite that, Flips from the top of the box will bury it home and make it a 1-goal game.
Yeah, an unfortunate touch here for Flash. Didn't have any boost to kind of make a more powerful touch on the ball there. I mean, that save was pixels away from, or that attempt was pixels away from being a save. Excuse me, but the Bears going to cut this lead to 1 here off a great passing play out of the Bears here.
Yeah, this game has been so back and forth. The first 2 games a little more one-sided towards the Bears, but the Outlaws are making it a really tough one for the Bears to come back from. But Zona, the angle off the backboard, gets it done. What did you just do?
That's a massive 50-50, and again, we're seeing confidence out of the Outlaw to get up for these balls and try and make contact in the air. But the Bears really starting to take over this 50-50 game, as you can see Purple Hippo there winning the 50 on the sidewall high, and Zona with, as you said, an absolutely ridiculous angle there to make that shot go in.
And the Bears are just really doing a great job of responding. We saw the Outlaws get that first goal of this game, and they responded within just a few seconds. They go up by 2 goals, and the Bears are like, hey, if you guys want to play, we'll play with you as well. We'll get 2 goals back really quickly. Zona looking to make that one a 3rd goal, but Flash, once again, good connection there. Live for Tomorrow is going to scoop this one up on the sidewalk. Flips looking for 1. Kind of dumps it back down to the hands of Orion. Here's a big clear, but Zona had pre-jumped that one, read it all the way long ago, but touch from Purple Hippo falls back into the hands of the Outlaws. They're going to have a second to get this ball out. It seems like they're a little bit slow on their rotations to get out, and just gives more and more time for the Bears to start punishing.
Yeah, I hope the Outlaws didn't fall into that trap of when you get a 2-goal lead or a 3-goal lead in the game of Rocket League and you start playing to not lose, instead of like we talked about earlier where the Bears just started suffocating. They weren't playing to not lose. They were playing to make sure that they won. They stayed aggressive. They stayed in the Outlaws' face. But, you know what I mean? I really hope as a big demo, it's not going to be enough to get the ball in the net there. The shot just off. Like I was saying, it's not going to be enough here, especially in CL, and when you start moving up these ranks, you can't just try and hold on to a lead. You have to stay aggressive.
Yeah, and the Outlaws are doing just that. They've got 10 shots throughout this entire game, and they're creating as many chances as they can, using the demo game to open up the rotations, open up some shooting lanes for their team, but it's just unfortunate their shot accuracy isn't a thing that they are as prominent on so far in this game. But here's a chance. Zero boost. Flash is going to have to turn back from this one. 5 seconds, staring down the barrel of an overtime here, Flumsky. His game 3 is definitely a different change of pace, not one that we would have expected after the last 2 games.
That was a great keep up there by the Outlaws. Ball stayed in their half. They made the challenges they needed to keep that ball in the Bear zone so it wasn't threatening to them as a 0-second play. As we're I thought we were going to get a little bounce shot action there to throw off the Outlaws defense, but luckily they make the save and keep this game going. I really think the Outlaws can take this, but since I brought up the fact that it was 7 or 8-1 in shots for the Outlaws, or 8-2, the Bears really starting to make a comeback on that front as they now have 9 shots in this game. A big demo on the back line out of Zona. The pass to mid can't connect. It's going to be an opportunity for Flash. Who gets bumped. Tries to get the soft connection to live for tomorrow, but it's a little bit over their head. Orion, a great touch to the corner. Flips is going to be there to read it. Gets it around 1. Great clear out here by the Outlaws to relieve some pressure. A great reception by Flash to keep the ball into the Bears zone. We're gonna have an opportunity on net here, but cleared out back to the Bears, or the Outlaw side from the Bears. And this ball's gonna keep going on their ass. Purple Hippo takes another pot shot into their corner, and man, the Bears really starting to put some pressure on here.
Yeah, both teams have been threatening so far in this entire game. Here's a clear out from Flash. This one will be on the back end. He's going to try and scoop it up, but it's going to be Orion trying to play that one mid. Purple Hippo read it early, and that one is just going to be a great save. Live for Tomorrow had to scramble back and make a save there. Orion looking for a booming clear. Zona looking to make a save, but that's an awkward spot for it to be, and double commit from the Outlaws is going to give Flips a chance to get it back out, but no boost in the tank. Is going to have to force a 50 here. Flash looking to punish. There's a 50 from Orion. It's going to be headed back the other way for the Outlaws. Now scoops this one up. Minute and a half into overtime, no score. Purple Hippo to the side wall. Live for Tomorrow is going to go past it, but the big 50 coming out from Purple Hippo is going to give him a chance to play it. Orion now back to the opposite corner, looking to put that one off the back wall. Zero boost, however, as Flips is going to take over. The touch from Flips out of the corner is going to be a dangerous one midfield, but it seems like both teams are really struggling to get an offensive attack going here.
Yeah, this ball's been kind of hovering in the middle thirds here for a long while here. It's a great center here from Orion. Flip's going to get this one up. It's a little bit awkward. He's going to take it to the ceiling. Can he get another one? Live for Tomorrow, a shot, but a save by Purple Hippo. And man, this overtime here, it's been back and forth, shots left and right. And at some point, you have to calm to your teammates. Like, hey, just take a breath, reset, get a booming clear. You have to get something, because the longer this overtime goes on, especially for the Outlaws who are playing for their series here, you have to take a breath. You have to kind of take a step back and say, hey, regain, relieve a little bit of pressure, just like this. Get some boost back in the tank, kind of figure something out. A great bump here. Flash going to take another opportunity towards net. It's up, the double tap, post and out. That's 2 or 3 post saves here for the Bears in this game 3 as this overtime continues 3 minutes in.
Fatigue starting to set in for these teams. Controllers getting sweaty as this is arguably the most important game of the season so far. Zona chance. Flick looking for Flips on the right wall, but Live for Tomorrow is going to scoop it up and make a save there. Now Flash, big booming clear, but Zona handles it perfectly. Now Orion sends that one high back down into the corner, and this ball is just pinging all over the field right now. Purple Hippo looking for one, but Flash, the interception, headed back the other way, looking for one off the backboard. Zona can't get the touch, but Flips once again, a huge booming clear, going to give their team the perfect chance at life once again here in overtime.
Orion, the desperation. Flash getting bumped, and somebody gets it enough to get off the crossbar. I couldn't tell who. I was too scared. I closed my eyes. I was scared, Bandy.
That game was over. Zona actually saved that shot, as that game would have been a win for the Bears, but we play on. 4 minutes here into overtime. Orion looking for one. Past one defender. Live for Tomorrow can't get it past Purple Hippo. Here's Flash looking for one. Flips is backwards. Zero boost. Going to give a chance to Flash. Zona midfield, but no touch from the offender is not going to be enough to get it done as we continue to play forward. Both teams just cannot get this ball in the net.
A controlled play here. The flick's up, and it's in. Live for Tomorrow does exactly that. He keeps the Outlaws alive in the series. Unbelievable control, 4 minutes into overtime, and you have the audacity to dribble the ball in front of 3 defenders and flick it over them. Unbelievable play by Live for Tomorrow. And remember, all you people in the chat, hit !POTW for play of the week. And if you get the context of that play, of how long that overtime is, what the Outlaws are playing for there, I mean, that is absolutely a play of the week, Panty.
Yeah, that is a fantastic point you made there. You saw the Bears attacking the midfield in that every dribble possible that the Outlaws were throwing at them, they were attacking it instantly, throwing booming clears straight back down to the Outlaws half. And that was such a risky play to go for, but Live for Tomorrow, it was like, man, we've been playing for 4.5 minutes. I just got to end this thing now so I can just take a breath, grab some water, and wipe my controller off.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have some sort of towel or rag or something on your desk after that one. I mean, that is unbelievable. Dab the forehead off, dab the controller off. You nailed it with that. I mean, 4 minutes into overtime, you know what I mean? So essentially we're going into match 5 now, and then we'll have game 6 after that.
Pretty much.
I mean, we got an extra game of Rocket League here out of these two teams.
Yeah, and the Outlaws once again showing signs of life. It is a 2-1, still advantage 2-1 in the series for the Bears, but the Outlaws, not what we expected. After getting blanked the first 2 games, we see the Outlaws putting up 4 goals on 15 shots. That's more shots than we saw in the first 2 games combined. So we see a change in pace. Maybe the sub from O'Brien is what kind of sparked that change to the Outlaws, and I'm so ready to see what's going to happen for these last 2 games.
And something I love to see, especially after an overtime like that, is how fast the players join the field. I mean, that just shows these guys are ready to go. The Outlaws, you know what I mean? They're chomping at the bit. They're coming off of a high. They have to keep that pressure going. You know what I mean? A couple of the Bears' goals in that last game, a couple of open nets, a couple of missed rotation opportunities for the Outlaws. But the Outlaws coming back every time as they're going to get another pass out in front of the net, and they continue that high-pressure offense of just staying in the way as they get a passing play going here. Little tic-tac-toe. And Flash, a great defensive play there to kind of realize that the play is dying and turn off as he goes for another dunk here. And I mean, the Outlaws really suffocated 30 seconds into this game. But Ryan's he jumps one. I was waiting to see what happened there because I had no idea, but he dodges a demo, gets a little bit of a wave dash, sees another bump coming through, still has the patience to stand down, and gets the save on the goal line. Great remaining patience out of him.
The intensity of this gameplay has not changed from this overtime by one bit at all. No. I feel like the match admin just paused the game and they're like, hey, let's just continue right here. But these guys, like you said, they jumped right back on the field. They were ready to continue playing because this series is now closer than it ever has been. And I have a feeling that the pace is not going to change for the rest of the series. Both of these teams are so close. The Outlaws with a couple of chances to start this game. O'Brien's going to put one off the back post. Flash, the response off the side post once again. And the Bears are really struggling to keep some the ball out of their half, but once again the Outlaws looking just to put so much pressure as they can, as much pressure as they can, and the Bears just starting to get this ball out finally.
Yeah, and have you noticed the shot placement out of the Outlaws here too? It seems like they're trying to hit every part of the net at every different shot. They're going low, they're going high. Orion here, a little bounce shot action, change it up a little bit too, and I think you nailed it here. This pace has not slowed down. Both teams just clearing the ball, 50-50s left and right. Bumps in the back line. They're just trying to get anything they can going. As a little bit of a fake here. It's going to throw one defender off, but Orion there to bail out Live for Tomorrow. They move the ball back into the Bears' half, and now you see that these booming clears are really working out for the Outlaws. As Purple Hippo, I think it was, makes a great save on the retreat there.
Here's Zona looking for Purple Hippo in the midfield. Beautiful pass play. Purple Hippo slams it down, and the Bears will strike first.
I almost thought it was going to be a pre-jump, but he was up a little bit after the ball got taken off the wall, so I don't know if I'm going to give him credit for that, but I will give them credit for an unbelievable midfield pass out of Zona, who seems to be the facilitator for this Bears offense.
Can we get 2 cases of Balscarana for that play? I think we can make an exception for that. The Bears' beautiful play despite the pressure from the Outlaws. Response quickly on the other end of the field. Now Flash off the kickoff looking to get back to work for the Outlaws as you just got to shake that one off. That's a beautiful play. Just accept the fact, hey, they made a nice play, but we just got to get back to work here. Zona and Flips looking to shut that one down off the backboard, punishing once again, but that bump is going to open up the net. Flash is able to get back and make a beautiful save.
Yeah, and something I was really hoping to see here was the Outlaws get one of those comeback goals, get like you talked about in the last game, one of those. I forget how you phrased it, but a goal to, I mean, just get a goal back real quick. It's a great feeling, kind of even the game right back up. Make sure you get back on the same page as this other team. You're going to miss at a flash here, but Orion there on the back line to get it to the corner and out. 50-50 out of the Bears is going to be in front of the Outlaws goal. 2 players up for the Bears, but Flash gets bumped as they had a great opportunity there to try and just take a pot shot at the open net, but Zona gets the bump, and now it's back into the Bears half. Sky off the sidewall. Orion's going to be in midfield. Can't get it around the other defender, and now we're gonna be, what a pinch that was.
What the heck was that? That was pretty crazy. But then Live for Tomorrow is looking to punish the backboard. Here's flips out of their own half. Orion looking for one, and it seems like both teams are just looking to put as much pressure as possible. That's something we've been saying this entire series, and now more than ever, it's so much harder to read what both teams are going to do, because they're looking to make many different plays, looking for different spots on the net, and definitely different plays that the other team are not going to expect.
Here's a great opportunity for Flash off the chip off the sidewall. A great setup for an air carry. Can't quite get back to the ball as that ball touched the inside of the net, but it wasn't enough to cross the line. Going to get an outlet pass to Purple Hippo, who gets this on net. Orion's going to have to make a diving save here. Maybe not the touch they wanted, but this ball's to midfield. It's out again, but Purple Hippo, this Bears defense is just there all the time, as this ball's going to bounce out the midfield, and the person you don't want to see there it's Zona. Makes 2 defenders dive for the Outlaws, and a fake from Liv. Flash going to get another pass out to mid. Orion there to receive, gets it by 1 defender, a bump at a Flash. Live for Tomorrow not quite ready to dive on that, and the Outlaws, 30 seconds left. They really have to start making a push as Orion gets control of 1. Gets a 50-50. It's to the corner. And Zona gets a great pinch down. 2 Outlaw players dive. We're going to have an outlet pass here for the Bears. It's going to be back to their half on the net. Flash can't connect. It's going to be a 2-goal lead here for the Bears, and that might be enough to seal the game.
Yeah, the Outlaws definitely had some chances there to tie this game up, but unfortunately for them, the Bears held strong as long as they could. The Outlaws with 8 shots in this game, and the Bears have shut down every single one, and that's a great response there from Bears in the opposite end. And it looks like they will end up taking this game. It's going to be a tough one for the Outlaws to come back from, almost making me eat my words there. But now, 5 seconds, I don't see it happening, but the Bears hang on as long as they could, and they did a fantastic job of taking this game 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you're new to MLE, the Bears have won this series, so congratulations to them. It is 3-1. We're going into game 5, but here at MLE, the standings do matter. The overall scores do matter, so we will, in our regular season, play all 5 games out. Those series scores do matter towards the end of the season. They will make the difference. So something interesting, Pandy, is that if the Outlaws can take the second game, they'll be tied in the standings with the Bears. It's a little bit better math than I did yesterday, but they will be tied if they can get that scoreline back to 2-3 in the Bears' favor.
Yeah, and it's so easy to say, hey, we've lost the series. We kind of just play this one for fun, just kind of see how it goes. But I can already tell the Outlaws are wanting to get back on the field. They're hungry to keep playing, despite the fact that they couldn't get it in the goal. But so many chances throughout that game were showing that the Outlaws wanted it so badly. And I have a feeling that they're going to come out with fire in their hair, looking to take this game 5, because every game matters. Like you said, so many instances I've seen throughout MLE. I've been here for 4 seasons, or this is my 4th season, actually. I'm sorry. For 4 seasons now, I have seen players and teams not make playoffs by 1 or 2 games. So every game matters here at MLE, and I have a feeling the Outlaws are looking to tie it up with the Bears here and give it their all in game 5.
Yeah, and something that's always interesting to me, and I try to tell my teammates this all the time, is that when you go into this game 5 and you already have this series locked up, especially if you want it in game 4 and not in game 3, it's super easy for these teams to kind of get caught up. They kind of let their foot off the pedal. They've won the series. They're happy. They start joking around a little bit. And just that happens as Live for Tomorrow keeps that aggression up. A little bit of sloppy clear here from the Bears. A great bump there by Flash. Sky Guy couldn't quite connect. And a great catch there by Liv, who just gets a little pot shot towards the net. And Pandy, like I was saying, you can see these teams kind of let their foot off the gas. They've won the series, and here you see it as the Outlaws take a 1-goal lead here.
Yeah, the Outlaws are just not done yet. They're looking to take this game and take this game 5 and make it a 2-3 series. They lost the series, yeah, but like we said, the standings go all the way to game 5, and the Outlaws are not wanting to give the Bears a chance at taking this one in a 4-1. Here's a demo from Zona. It's going to open up the net, a chance for flips, but it was just not possible enough to make that touch. If you would have made that, I would have got up and left.
That would have been an unbelievable play. The miss there by Orion in the corner, not the end of the world, as Liv still gets the outlet pass to him. A great clear here by Zona, who's got the follow, but not enough boost to get there. Flips middle with a lot of boost to work with here. Going to be able to get back to it in the corner, but Liv, a great read. And it's going to be cleared across to a non-threatening area. Orion might have given the ball away to the Bears here. A big pass off the back wall. Zona, I think it was, or maybe Liv gets bumped, but Zona gets the ball back to the backboard. A shot up, not going to be enough to connect with it. And it's Zona again with the ridiculous angles, able to read the play perfectly. It's the ball around the defender, sees Orion is awkward here, and just gets the touch around, slow shot, hits them with the changeup, and it's in the net.
And that's one thing we've seen throughout this entire series. The Bears have punished the backboard in all 5 games that we have seen. And the Outlaws have really struggled to read it in every game, I would say, except for game 4, because that's when they brought it to overtime. They really did a great job of reading the backboard. But unfortunately, there, once again, the Bears were able to get it done. And that's just such a tough position to put the ball in, is off the backboard. So credit to the Bears once again to get that done. But holy cow, back the other way. Live for tomorrow slots went in on a beautiful pass from Flash.
Yeah, this touch to get underneath the ball and get that little bit of boost, the last of it in his tank, enough to get that touch over Zona's head, and Live for Amaro with a great speedy read there, buries it in the top corner again. Another contestant for play of the week there, coming out from the Outlaws on a 2-man passing play to get the 1-goal lead back.
Little bit of stacking going on here for the Outlaws. Great possession there after their goal that they just got. Getting the lead back now. Live for Tomorrow's got a 1v1 situation, but Purple Hippo saw the sight from a long way away. And unfortunately for them, Flash was able to be there in time and close that gap in front of their goal. Now Zona, here's a chance for Purple Hippo. Live for Tomorrow looking at a shut down that chance. Flips will scoop it up out of their own half. Here's Orion looking to punish the backboard. Flash read it a while ago, but Zona read it before that. Beautiful save for the Bears.
Yeah, and look at this play out of the Outlaws here. Again, they're not letting off the gas. The Bears kind of a little bit slower in the air, but not Zona. Zona's still with those ridiculous reads, able to see the field beautifully tonight as the Outlaws trying to clear this ball out of their zone. The Bears really starting to make an attempt here to keep it there. Orion low on boost, Flash with the fake. Purple Hippo, another great 50, and this ball stays in the Outlaws' half until Live for Tomorrow gets it clear, but it's not going to be there for long. Get a miss out of the Bears. Zona back the other way. Looking for a bump here out of Flips, but not going to connect with anyone. And get a center here for the Bears. A fake. To flick over one, a little bit of a single hop flick here out of Purple Hippo, and again Flips diving aggressively from third man. An unbelievable fake there. The mind games out of Hippo, and they get a passing play of their own.
Oh my gosh, Purple Hippo, exclamation point, POTW, that beautiful fake there on the first defender, pops it over the second and just hands it over to Flips to get the job done. That's one thing we've seen from both teams are those beautiful plays. Flip reset Orion, that one's not going to go, as I think I would have puked if he scored that.
Yeah, that would have been ridiculous. This Flips a little bit of an air carry there. It looked like Live for Tomorrow couldn't quite get the touch they wanted there. They couldn't get the backflip flip going. Flips a great chip out of that Dominus. I mean, that smaller hitbox going to be able to get the ball up in the air quick, and he just carries it in, puts the glue on the front of his car, and gets the Bear another 1-goal lead here late in this 5th game.
Yeah, the Bears doing a fantastic job of responding on pressure. They're turning defensive plays into goals. That's one thing that teams really struggle to do in 3v3, especially in leagues that aren't like ML and PL. It's a bit harder to do that because the play is a bit slower and it's harder to develop plays. But the Bears are, like we said, this entire series have played so fast, so quick, punished with so many booming clears, and they're doing just that. They score 2 goals there off of a great save that they on response from the Outlaws, the great saves that they've been making, as I kind of fumble my words there a little bit. But the Bears up 1, still 90 seconds to go for the Outlaws to bring it back, and the Bears once again still threatening.
Yeah, and something I kind of noticed late in last game and a little bit earlier in this game as we saw that passing play come out of Flash is you got to find a way to get Flash the ball in the air. He's got the glue on his car. He can make an air carry happen. He can get it around a player. And I really think that the offense could have succeeded a little bit more if they tried to run it through Flash a little bit when he had those opportunities. You know, I mean, he did show the flash of brilliance. So I I wish we would have saw that a little bit more. But as we're getting a minute left in this game, the Outlaws really going to need to start getting something going here. So Ryan, it's a ball up the middle. No Outlaw player there. It's really what they can't be doing, and it's going to leave the ball for Zona, who's just going to throw a chipper at the net, and it's going to go to the top shelf.
Yeah, that's just a bit of miscommunication there from the Outlaws. I believe Orion thought that there was going to be a teammate there to scoop up that pass that he was dropping down, and Zona just read it all the way, saying, hey, there's nobody here. I'm just going to go ahead and take this and shoot. Great capitalization by Zona, and the Bears just looking to further punish the Outlaws. That's something we've seen throughout this entire series.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. What I noticed was Liv was in the net. Maybe he didn't hear the comm from Flash that said, hey, I'm getting boost back corner, you can push, or you know what I mean, or Flash didn't quite get the boost and maybe he just didn't go, and it just led to Zona being able to have a free shot at net. And even if that ball goes to backboard, you know that Flips is going to be there, Purple Hippo is going to be there making a 50. It's going to be still awkward no matter what if that ball goes to the backboard for the Outlaws on defense. As Purple Hippo bangs another one top shelf there for the Bears to really put this game away.
Yeah, it's a beautiful infield pass by Flips there off the backboard to make that touch really awkward for Liv for tomorrow. I believe Liv thought that shot might have been on net or in front of the goal, but it's a great job by Flips making that touch, making sure that it was going to get off the wall enough to get to their teammate. And the Bears, once again, to capitalize on a misrotation there, or on a mispositioning there from the Outlaws defender. And they're going to close this one out. 5-2 win. Congratulations to the Bears. It's going to be a 4-1 victory.
Yeah, and we alluded to a little bit before, if the Outlaws could have managed to take this game, they would have been tied in the standings. But I think something that's super important to remember is something you said at the beginning of this cast, is that we're only in week 2. We're only in week 2 of this season 15 here. So the Outlaws, there's so much that I saw in this series that they have to look forward to. You got Flash able to make these air carries. You got Liv for tomorrow taking these great shots. That unbelievable dribble late into that overtime in match 3 or in game 3. A couple of good shots there. He received the pass to make that unbelievable play. Orion having to step up in game 3, get the win there, and really make a dent on this series. So if I'm the Outlaws, I'm not looking down, but let's talk about the Bears a little bit and them taking this series 4-1.
Yeah, it's just, once again, that's a fantastic job by them, playing so much pressure that the Outlaws just couldn't really handle it as well as they wanted to. But again, I think we're going to see these teams again, without a doubt. We see so much promise there from the Outlaws. They're showing so much promise throughout the entire series. It's just going to be a matter of being a little bit more consistent as far as the rest of the season goes. But like you said, it's very early, still plenty of time to work with the rest of the season. It's 10 weeks to work with, but I mean, once again, great job by the Bears taking this one 4-1.
Yeah, and again, man, remember that if you saw anything you liked in this game, hit that play of the week command. It's brought to you by Balls Garana. I don't have it on tonight. I had it on last night, I believe, for my game. I had my Shadow jersey on, and you guys can get your own team jerseys and get a team that you like. Maybe you like the different teams' colors and get those from Guardian Proline. And again, Pandy, our streams tonight brought to you by APM Music. So don't go anywhere. We're coming back tonight. We got another match coming up next. We got going to the Master League. We're going to see the Comet, or I believe it's this Spectre and the Wizards. Excuse me, stumbling all over the place, but it's the Spectre and the Wizard coming up next.